So with a clean sheet today, Jean Boutet has 13 clean sheets. Jan Sommer just picked up one against Lecce as well, so they're level at the top. And then you've got Sevilla and Provedel just behind them. Carnesecchi is up there, and Di Gregorio has got 9 clean sheets so far this season. Any surprises that Boutet is at the top and we haven't been necessarily speaking about Como's defense, more so about their attack?
It is surprising, but Como don't let you have the ball. They have the highest possession in the league, so that right there is their first line of defense. Because really, it's a bit of a no-name back four still. You know, I don't think a lot of football fans would think of Jacopo Ramon and Oliver Kempf as this stout backline, but they just don't let you see the ball, especially in their own half.
That was also the one doubt that Como had coming into the season. If you remember in the summer, Fabregas was talking about trying to get another goalkeeper. They ended up keeping him. I know you gave the quote that he wanted him more for his feet than he did for his hands. So it's crazy to see him. For me, it's surprising to see him in the first place.
So we've obviously got Tony here, the goalkeeping legend. We're going to have a look at some of the depth in Serie A. Carnesecchi against Di Gregorio is the first one that we're going to look at, Tony, because it's been really interesting, hasn't it, with the keeper clash so far this season with Carnesecchi and Di Gregorio, especially in terms of the Italian national team as well and the race to be at the World Cup this summer.
Yeah, these two guys certainly will be in the race, Carnesecchi, and we'll look at the list in a bit here, but he'll be the number 2 guy. But Marco actually brought Carnesecchi up to me about 2.5 years ago. It's the first time I was really alerted to him, right? And he was rotating in Cup and League, you know, making the rotation with Atalanta before he became the starter. And I thought last year he was outstanding. I think we did the ranking last year. He was either first or second. I can't remember. We did it a year ago. But you'd seen the growth in his game. Di Gregorio, when he came over from Monza, remember, he was one of the more highly touted goalkeepers. And Juve, I thought, made a really good choice. Now, we've seen over the last couple of weeks that he's had a few struggles, right? And there's been a couple of moments, you know, last week with the feet, the ball that rolls by him. I know he's criticized for all of that. Today, there was another questionable one. You know, it's a guy that's, you know, he's kind of grown into the game. He's in a moment right now, sort of in the same moment as Juventus is, right? This rocky road moment. It's just, it's indicative, his play is indicative of what this team looks like right now.
Tony, is that a mentality issue, though, with Di Gregorio?
You know, I'm still caught, I don't know about you guys, I'm caught on this stat, this 13 games where the first shot of the game goes in the goal. Like, I don't know why I can't get it out of my head, but I'm thinking to myself, if I'm in a game, and what's the first thing a goalkeeper always talks about, right? You play goalkeeper, you want something easy to happen in a game. You want a ball that hit at you, you make a clean save, and then you take that deep breath, and all of a sudden, like, the game starts to slow down a little bit. But now you get 13 games where the first time you have a chance to make a play, the ball goes in the back of the net. I don't know what that could do to you mentally. So I'm really caught up on that stat. I'm thinking about that, like how that's possible. But yeah, from a mental standpoint, it's got to get at you a little bit, Matteo.
You know what I'm caught up on is how much Grella looks like Di Gregorio.
Go stand next to him.
Every time we look at
this is your Kujin.
I don't say this often, but
it's bizarre.
I think it might
He's
be
a little
Grella.
bit better looking.
He's not crazy.
He's got a better beard, probably.
I tell you what, not far.
I think I'll say though this: if Donnarumma went down and Italy are going to play on March 26th against Northern Ireland, I have a lot more faith in Carnesecchi than I do Di Gregorio. You can put these stats,
but he's not going to get called up.
put these stats aside though. But I think he's levels above him.
He won't get called up.
Well, Tony's going to do a depth chart, right, for us, because with all the Italian talent, you would have to say that the goalkeeping is the one where they do have the most depth, which is a bit of a bizarre situation to be in. So Donnarumma, I think you can all agree, is the starting goalkeeper. It's the second and third place.
So here's the interesting part. Just going on. Look, I think we know Donnarumma, right? Number 1. There's no discussion. This is a world-class goalkeeper. Here's the one. You say if Donnarumma goes down, right, in the next qualifying, it's a game they have to need to qualify for the World Cup. You're going to put a guy in that has that many caps.
Wow.
In one of the most important games that Italy is going to play.
You're going to put him in.
Yeah, no, I'm done. I'm finished.
No, you're going to put him in.
But you see what I'm saying? Because we saw this with Buffon for so many years. He occupied the position for so many years. Nobody really got a chance.
True.
Now all of a sudden you got a world-class goalkeeper for 79 caps. And if he goes down in your most important game, this is what you're looking at caps-wise.
So
that's crazy,
do you
actually.
put in Carnesecchi with no appearances?
I put Carnesecchi in because I think he's playing the best right now, and he has for a year and a half. The problem is you're asking a guy in that moment to make his first international start for the national team. Just think about that.
Remember the
We
first
got
time you
enough
were on
things
TV?
against us.
I
We got another one.
Tony, you
Now
know
I'm
the
scared. Now I'm
craziest
scared.
thing? Donnarumma's probably going to have 2 decades playing, right? He started when he was a teenager. Buffon had 2 decades. If you're the second best Italian goalkeeper of the last 2 generations, you're never going to play. It's basically a 40-year time slot where we'll probably have Buffon and then Donnarumma and no one else because the top goalkeeper has been that much better than the competition. I feel bad for the rest of the guys. Personally, Di Gregorio, get him off the list. He's looked like one of the most mistake-prone keepers in recent times. And you're right, Tony, you said the eye test. The eye test tells me those beautiful eyes right there. He's my number 2. He has been world-class in 2026.
Yeah, and the guy that I think is growing the most, and I think I told you, Marco, last year, Caprile
Yes,
for me. He's the guy that I think is now growing into. Look, the work he has to do at Cagliari is difficult every single week, right? We know this. And we see him. What I like about him, there's this stat about how many mistakes a goalkeeper makes that cost goals. That's always low in his stat every year. You look at it, it's 1 or 2 a year, right? And of course, he's always in the game, right? Because he's always got a lot of things to do. But he's the guy I would look out for that if anybody could make a run into this third. Look, Vicario's the guy at Tottenham I think everyone thinks is the number 3 right now. I'm not a huge fan, especially some of the moments he's had at Tottenham. If anyone's going to make a run, these 2 are going to make the World Cup team if they get there, right? Caprile is one of those guys to look out for.
What don't you like about Vicario, really quick?
I don't like his stature, right? How many times has he gone in the box for Tottenham, dropped crosses, gets banged around in the box? Now, you know, the Premier League is the most difficult league with regards to balls being played in here, but he hasn't. We did a video of him on one of our shows here at CBS, and we showed 3 or 4 instances where he needed to be stronger, where he gave up goals. That part of it is so important in the international game, right? So, again, all very talented goalkeepers, all have different qualities. I think at the top 2, Italian national team fans would be really happy. These 4 here, it's kind of picking out of a hat right now.
Donnarumma obviously has had some incredible moments with the Italian national team. You all talk about him being world-class. Aside from can you all agree, first of all, he's world-class? Would you all say that for Donnarumma?
Yeah.
You can't argue it.
If he's not part of the picture, is there anybody else on the Italian national team that you can put in that world-class category?
Maybe Bastoni. Barella has not been world-class in the last 18 months. I think he's taken a bit of a dip. He was world-class in the past. I think under Antonio Conte is when he was truly one of the best midfielders in the world. But other than Donnarumma, maybe Bastoni, but only in a back 3. I don't think Bastoni's world-class in a back 4. I think that takes away what Bastoni does so well and what makes him so unique. So I think it's pretty much Donnarumma and Bastoni only as a braccetto.
Do you agree, boys?
Yeah, I agree. I think the world class. We don't have any like world class players off the top of my mind for sure. But I do believe that Italy has good enough players. They have very, very high level players. They have the Barellas, Bastonis, Di Marcos, Retegui, who scored 20 plus goals in Serie A. They have enough to get through to the World Cup. They should be there. If they do get there, they're like 7th favorite to win the whole thing. So slow down just a little bit.
Is Di Marco world
Let's see
class?
what happens in March.
I would agree with Papi's statement that it is Donnarumma is the only one that objectively everyone could say. I would put Di Marco in the conversation of you could argue, but I think the fact that we all stand here and watch Italian football week in and week out, and we say how many times in any of our lifetimes would we say that there's only one player, one Italian player in the world, and it's not even an outfield player, it's a goalkeeper that is world class.
I think that the team that has the most world class players is England. But no trophies, but world class team for sure. A lot of world class players.
It's weird how
We just
that works,
deflect. That's how we make ourselves feel better.
Love to do
You guys keep the
segments.
world class players.
We will, and we'll win this year. If you had $1 million, Grella, if I said to you, predict the outcome, do you make the World Cup or do you not make the World Cup? I'll give you $1 million if you get it right. What would you say at this very moment in time?
I say yes. I think they do. I think if he switches to which he's not going to do, so I guess that's not a good point. But I think if he switches from a 5-3-2, I think if he goes 5-3-2, he has the tools and the players in spot to win those 2 games. The second game is on the road to either Bosnia or Wales. It's going to be difficult.
Is that a concern?
4-4-2 makes me worry. But with my heart,
Everything is a
yes.
concern with Italy.
With my heart,
We're
yes,
not
they're going to
going.
go through.
We're not going. I'm saying no. I think we win the first one. Second one, I could see it being against Bosnia. No chance. I have zero faith in this team in a high-pressure game. They've let us down already in 2 consecutive World Cup playoffs.
You can't miss another World Cup.
What do you
And
guys
if
think?
you get there, you're 7th favourites.
I agree with Matteo. And then at least if Italy doesn't go, you have $1 million. So win-win.
That's
Just in
my
case.
thinking. That's my
they go
thinking.
through.
They go through?
Yeah.